Okay, so I think we're gonna do a new song today, and let's see. You've done a few sonatinas before, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there's just a basic structure to sonatinas, so we'll just kind of go over that first. So with sonatinas, we always start with an exposition, which is like the beginning of the song. Okay, and then we move into what we call the development. So the section in the middle is going to sound a little different. And then we're going to go back to the original. Yeah, the recapitulation is what that's called, okay? So let me play it for you once, and then we can kind of look at it, and then, okay. So here's the exposition of the song. And then here's the development. The beginning part is just this introduction here. And what key are we in here?
C major.
Yeah, so we start with C major.
Okay.
And then when we go into this development part, what sounds different here? It kind of sounds like a minor key, and it also you see some difference in the accidentals, right? You see a lot more accidentals here. So if you just look at this first measure, what is the accidental that you have?
There's an F sharp.
There's an F sharp, right? So potentially transitioning to what key? You go from C major. What key might have an F sharp? What key would have an F sharp?
B minor.
Sure. What
minor?
Key? Major key. We'll think of major
A
key.
D
Yeah.
major key.
D major. One sharp only. F sharp.
Oh, okay. G major.
G major. Yeah. So this one potentially changed to G major. Okay. So the first. And then what might this be? This is only 5 notes here, but what key might this be?
C minor.
Yeah, it might change to like a C minor. Okay. And then what's a key that has 2 sharps? F sharp and C sharp.
A D major.
Right. So do you kind of hear the difference in the coloring? First, you're kind of with a major key in G major, and then you change to a C minor, right? And then we're changing to back a major again, D major, and then back to the tonic, the C major, and then back to this again, same thing. Get there. What is this kind of scale called? When you see all these half steps with the sharps? Or that's how you do it in scale sometimes? Chromatic. Right? Chromatic scale, right? Then you transition back to the main theme. Do you see that? We'll call it like A section, B section, and A section, okay? So section A is where? Can you just put a little A on there? Yeah. Okay, and then where's B, which is the development? Where do you change? And then we've got this transition right here, and then where do you go back to the recapitulation, which is like the original, the A, B, A. Yeah, the da 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 da, right?
Yeah.
Good. So The only difference, it's the same rhythmic pattern, right? But this is in C major. What key is this in, you think? When you're
G.
Yeah, it's in G because you see the F sharp again. Okay, right. So G is the what kind of when you do like scale degree name. G is which number?
The fifth.
Right. So what do you call that? The fifth note in the scale is called
Dominant.
the dominant. Okay, so you go to the dominant and then you eventually go back to C major here. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna give it a try with the notes. Make sure you know what the fingering is. So what's the first note? We're on, there you go. Good. See, that was good.
Oh.
There you go. Good. Good. Right, okay, that's good first try on that first section. So we just want to make sure that you are careful with your fingering because, you know, if you do the fingering, you kind of run out, right? So you want to keep transitioning. You use this, well, after you do the thumb on that C, you hit the C again so you can kind of pivot and then do the 4. So you get on a 4 again on that D, okay? Let's just do that first section one more time just to get more familiar. On that first section, kind of how to work on it. And the good thing is once you know this, you kind of are familiar how to do the ending too, right? Okay, so let's work a little bit on the middle section, okay? The development section. Now, in theory, we learn about different kinds of motives, right? So what would you say this is? When you've got your right hand doing, you know, and your left hand is doing this, right? So, do you remember what the different kind of motives you learned are? What names some? Repetition, sequence, and imitation. So, what's the difference between the three? Repetition would be what? If it was exactly?
Yeah, exactly. So,
and then the second one would be sequence, which is, what would sequence be like?
The right hand will do a part and then the left hand will do a part and then it'll go high, an octave higher.
Right. So sequence would be right hand just kind of changing notes and stuff. And then imitation would be what?
Kind of like this, maybe.
Right, where your left hand is imitating the right hand, right?
Yeah.
Like different voicing, but doing the same rhythmic pattern. Okay.
Okay.
So let's try that now. Okay, so hold on, okay, really quick. This G is actually a little bit lower. You're down here, yeah. Going down. The composer Spindler, he's actually more of a romantic period composer, but that's why they call it, you see what it's antique style, because it's kind of reverting back more to like the classical sonatina style. Okay? Okay, good. One thing we can do to kind of help you with just some of the technique for this one is We can first try to do a chromatic scale, okay? So can you try to do a chromatic scale on your, do you remember what the fingering was for chromatics? Yeah, go ahead. Right, 1, 3, 1. Right, so 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. But since we're doing it in G, so let's start on G and end on G, just doing a chromatic scale. So that's the part where 1, 3, and then 2, 1. Yes, that's it. Yeah. Right, so what's the general rule with the chromatic scales? When you are doing chromatic? 1, 3 generally, right? You're doing 1, 3, 1, 3, except for what? Right, when you're hitting 2 white keys, you're going to do 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Okay, so let's try that again. Yeah, do you see every time you get a little tripped up, it's because of what? The 2. You gotta use the 2 there. Oh, whoops.
Yeah, that's like that.
There you go. Let's try with your left hand. You can do it with your left hand. You can do go up first and then down. Right, so left hand's a little bit different with the 1, 2, 3, right? Okay, and then we can also use that, do a hand in to kind of help you with some of the fingering. So you kind of did this one, which I thought was good because you're using the fingers number 3 and 4 a lot, which you kind of have to do for this song. So let's hear the hand in that you're we can try it also with a little bit of a different rhythmic pattern. So we can kind of do it similar to the rhythmic pattern here. You know how it's got the 8 notes, and then we could do something like this. So do you see what I'm doing? I'm doing the... So I'm double timing the first 4 notes and then slowing it down. So you can think of it as like first 4 notes are 8th notes, and then the next ones are quarter notes.